Lesson 10-3, solving quadratic equations by completing the square. Well, let's take a look at two problems. How do we solve each of these quadratic equations below? First one you should have seen before. Oh, well, simple factoring. Parentheses, x's, plus minus. Looks like 8 times 4 subtracts to 4. Solve it, we get x equals -8 and 4. Now, you may not have seen this before, but if we have a perfect square on one side, to get rid of it, we take square root of both sides. We get x plus 2 equals 6, except we have to add the concept of plus or minus, because you never know if it was -6, which squared equals 36, or positive 6, which squared equals 36. So now we subtract 2 from both sides. We get x equals plus or minus 6 minus 2. Break that into 2, we get x equals 6 minus 2 is 4, or -6 minus 2, -8. So the question is, are these the same equations? And the answer is yes. How do we know? Not that hard. Same solutions. So, it shows us, briefly, another way to solve quadratic equations. Can't factor, or if you don't want to factor, we use this technique, setting it up to look like this, and that's called completing the square. You'll see why in a moment. Now, which is easier if you don't know how to factor? Otherwise, what I'm saying is, how can you make this look like this? It's not that hard. First, move the c value to the right. For those who don't know, in this case, a equals 1, b equals 4, c equals -32. To move it to the right, we add 32 to both sides. X squared plus 4x equals 32. If there's an a value that isn't 1, divide all terms by a. Well, we don't have to worry about that. Then, take the b value, 4, divided by 2, always 2. Get a number, you put it in a box. What's the box for? It's a surprise. I don't want to ruin it for you. Then take that, square it. This is the number you're going to add to both sides. So you go x squared plus 4x plus 4. What we add to one side, have to add to the other. So now we're finally set up. We've made a perfect square. That's why they call it completing the square. We completed a square. What is that square? Well, if you're smart, you look at it and say, oh, that's x plus 2 squared. If you're not smart, then you go back to the box and just write that after the x. It's just the plus 2 part. Squared equals 36. Now we're done. Solve it if you need to, which we've already done. Square root of both sides, x plus 2. Don't forget the plus minus. X equals 4 and -8. And that's how you complete the square. Couple things. Gave you a nice, easy one where it worked out to be a perfect square. It almost always does not work out to be a perfect square. 2, we gave you an a value equals 1. That makes life very simple. So this gets a lot more complicated, but the rules are written down. All you got to do is follow them. So, what about solving this one? I could subtract 25 from both sides like the rule said before, but you know what? I just noticed this is already a perfect square. So now you just go with it. Square root of both sides. X minus 5 equals plus or minus root 7. X equals 5 plus or minus root 7. We're going to leave the answer like that. If we want it in decimals, we'd have to keep going. You get 5 plus root 7, 5 minus root 7. Put it in our calculator, see what they equal. Get something like 7.5, 7.3, 7.6, something like that. Or 2.3, 2.5, something like that. But us math geeks like to leave it like that if we can. So that's a slightly harder one, and I'll show you a much harder one. What I would recommend is you pause the tape, try it yourself. Or if you want, I can do the first one for you. First one's nice because it's already set up, has a perfect square, and we got a nice 4 here, so it's going to make our lives much easier. So that's 2 plus 1 is 3, or negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. We can always check these by putting them back in. I'll just try the 3. 3 squared is 9, minus 6 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so 3 works. I'm sure the negative 1 does too. This one is not set up as perfect square, so move the 15 over. Take the negative 16, divide by 2, negative 8, put it in the box. Take negative 8, square it, get 64. Add 64 to both sides. X minus 8 squared equals 49. Ooh, looks like we got another good one. Square root of both sides. X minus 8 equals plus or minus 7. X equals 8 plus 7, or X equals 8 minus 7. Looks like X equals 15 and 1. Which means we could have factored this one. Looks like this would have factored as X minus 15, X minus 1. And that would have given us answers 15 and 1, which are what we got down there. Try the next two on your own. They're not nice. One of them is. Usually we rationalize this answer. At this point in time, we're not going to. Now the really challenging ones. Lots of ugly numbers. Not a lot of space to work with. So first things first, divide by 5. Move the 7/5 over. Take the 2, divide by 2. Take 1, square it. Add 1 to both sides. Square root of both sides. Two solutions. You can put them in check. Not going to mess with that one. That's a lot. That's a real lot. So practice. Make sure you know what you're doing. You can even try a couple that you know factor, like x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. See if you can complete the square on them. Better be good at your fractions because they're going to pop up a lot, or at least be good at using your calculator to solve fractions. Good luck.